ATS EVS 105 students, Dr. Shragi here, and I'm just welcoming you to our class and giving you a little bit of a sense of the structure and some of the basic rules of the class and so on. I am here in my office. This is where the magic happens. As you know, I don't actually live in Nebraska. I used to work at Creighton on site, but a few years ago my position changed to an online position and they said I could live wherever I needed to. So my family and I moved to Indiana, where my wife, who is a dentist, bought a practice. And we live here with our two sons. Xavier is 6 and Gabriel will be turning 3 next month. I like this online teaching gig. It's an interesting challenge. It's definitely very different than being in the classroom. And one of the challenges that we have is for you to kind of get a sense, to form a connection to people. Being in a classroom, even if you don't like your professor, you kind of form a connection that just isn't always there when you take an online class. Hopefully you'll get a sense over the course of the semester that I have a lot of passion for this subject and especially, overall for science in general. And I hope you'll be able to get a sense of that with this Magis Core course that fulfills your understanding science requirement. Let me talk to you a little bit about the overall structure of the course and so on. All online courses at Creighton are supposed to be composed of 8 modules. Modules are kind of what you think of when you think of units in a course or something like that. And so each of the modules in the course is about 2 weeks long. In general, the way I do it is 6 of the modules are exactly 2 weeks long, and then to make it fit into Creighton's schedule, one is a week and a half long, that's this first one, and then there's one along the way that's only 1 week long, but we only cover half as much material. Each of the modules will have a homework set that's associated with it. There'll be readings from the book, there'll be lectures that you watch on YouTube, there will be a homework set that you'll do, and there's a discussion that you participate in, and we'll talk about those discussions in just a little bit. At the end of each module, there's an online quiz that you take, and then your grade is a combination of the quiz and the homework and your participation in the discussions and so on. The way I set up the course is that the whole course is worth 1,000 points, and so each of the 8 modules is worth 125 points, and in each of the modules I didn't worry about keeping them consistent. Some modules the quiz might be worth as little as 30 of the points, and maybe the homework is worth more, or maybe in this case because the discussion is particularly interesting, the discussion's worth more, or maybe sometimes because there's a lot of vocabulary and stuff in this module, maybe the quiz is worth more. So you'll have to always watch in the overview of each module to see how many points each of the parts of the assignment of the module are worth. Students get stressed out about those discussions. The discussions can be worth a fair amount of the grade in the course. I would say they average about 25 to 30% of your grade in each of the modules. The online discussions, I start each one with a topic, and you can't see what other students wrote until you write your original post to the discussion. Okay, I'll post some question about climate change, and you'll write your response to that. Okay, once you have posted, and everybody's posted, you go back, and you have to write responses to at least 2 of your classmates, furthering the discussion. You can't just write, you can just write, I agree, or something, but you won't get much points for that, okay? You get points for advancing the discussion, where maybe you point out another example, or you bring up a good point, or something like that. That's how you get full credit on those discussions, okay? And we'll kind of guide you through that. I know that's kind of a new thing. That's something Creighton requires, though, in these online courses, is that way there's a real interaction between the students and between the students and the professor. One of the most important documents that you need to get off the blue line site for the class is the calendar. You'll find it up at the top of the course in the welcome module. You'll see that there's a link for basic calendar for ATS EVS 105 or something like that is what the link says. And it is a calendar that has all the due dates for all the assignments and when we start and end each of the modules, etc. Get yourself a copy of that calendar and then do whatever works well for you for not making sure that you stick with those deadlines. Okay, some students like to enter all those deadlines in the calendar on their phone, or they put a magnet on it and put it on the fridge, or whatever works for you. Just make sure that you don't fall behind in the course. Falling behind in the course is really the main way that the course can go wrong for you. The course is not the most difficult course you're going to take at Creighton University. Okay, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying that you're going to be taking more advanced courses in your time. You should be able to get through this course just fine. The main challenge is going to be making sure that you stay on track and that you don't let it slide or anything like that, because the penalties for turning in things late and so on, or never turning in at all, adds up pretty fast, okay? So just make sure you get a copy of that calendar. That is the main thing. Now, I will be sending emails and so on out to keep people on track as well, but I try not to also be a pest, okay? I get it that nobody wants to be inundated with, you know, a couple email messages a day from a professor in just one of their classes and so on. So I try to kind of keep it under control so that I'm not constantly emailing you with reminders and so on. At the beginning of the semester, I'll probably send more, but as the time goes by and people are getting into the habit of turning things in on time and so on, I'll probably send them less and less. Okay, I think that's everything that I wanted to tell you in this little welcome video. When you go into Module 1, the first module for the course, make sure you go into the Module 1 overview page, which has a video that has more explicit instructions about how to navigate in Blue Line, how do you get to the lectures, how do you get to the handouts, etc. And obviously, always let me know if you have any questions, okay? This has been Dr. John Schrage.